are ecosystems? Ecosystems. Ecology, ecosystem. What are they? Okay. Okay. Ecosystem is very similar to environment.
환경과
Please write this thing, right? Ecosystem is very similar to environment. But environments are more, sometimes environments are abstract. It's not, some environments stand for physical ones. But other environments stand for non-physical ones. Okay, like an educational environment or a family environment, things like that. But now we are talking about the physical environment in which animals and plants, microorganisms, they live together to create a perfect balance. Okay, ecosystem. We live in an environment. An environment is all living things and non-living things that surround us. Okay? Living thing, all the living and non-living things. For instance, a flower. Guys, is a flower a living thing or a non-living thing?
living
It's a living thing. Good. How about a rock? Is a rock?
non-living
Yes, it's a non-living thing. Understand? Good. How about humans? Human, a person.
a living thing.
It's a living thing. Okay. So, this ecosystem is actually comprised of two distinctive things: living things and non-living things. Okay? Write it down. The ecosystem is made up of living and non-living things. We can't just simply say the ecosystem only needs living things. No, ecosystem needs non-living things too. Anybody can tell me what it means surround? It means 둘러싸다. Okay, so we live in an environment. An environment is all living and non-living things that surround us. Okay? So 우리는 한 환경 속에 살아요. 환경이란 살아있는 것, 살아있지 않는 것을 의미합니다. 근데 어떤 거야? 이 살아있는 것, 살아있지 않는 것 모두 다 우리 주변을 둘러싸고 있는 거죠. Okay? Alright, read after David. Teacher. Plants and animals
Plants and animals
depend on.
depend on.
Depend on.
Depend on.
It's very important word. Depend on. Yes. One another. One another. Depend on means 의지하다. How about one another? 서로.
Depend on.
서로. Okay? Or 서로. They depend on one another. Let's say we don't have earthworms. No earthworms. What is earthworms?
지구는?
Earthworms are
지구는?
the small and long creatures. Yes, you see quite oftentimes shortly after the rainfall. You see the earthworm like this. It looks like this. Okay? What is this? It's an earthworm. Okay? Right? So let's say there are no earthworms. What's going to happen to the environment? What's going to happen to the nature? It's going to be unbalanced. Do you remember the prey and the predator balance? All right? Prey and predator. What is a predator? Let's say, is earthworm predator or is earthworm prey? Earthworms are prey. What about the number of earthworms, or just simply worms, goes down? Too low. Okay? What's going to happen? What's going to happen, guys? Leading to the decline or decrease. What is decrease? Decrease. It's like 감소. So leading to the decrease of the what? Predators. Okay? Right, because predators don't have several predators don't have enough food to eat. Do you understand? Like a birds, chicken, they eat worms. Let's just say there are no chickens at all. No chicken. What's going to happen? It's a hell. Okay?
치킨 없어 살려.
No chicken.
나 백숙.
Okay, nothing. So, this is a very important statement, everybody. Plant and animals depend on
Depend on
one another
one another.
in an environment.
In an environment.
Okay, please write this Korean translation. 식물과 동물은 한 환경에서 서로를 의지한다. Plants, animals
Animals
depend
depend
on one another
on one another
in an environment.
in an environment.
Good. They depend on
Depend on
non-living things too,
non-living things
like water,
or
air,
air
and soil.
and soil.
Go ahead, everybody. They depend on
They depend on
non-living things.
non-living things.
그들이 누구야? 식물과
동물.
동물들은 living things죠.
네.
그래서 뭘 의지한대요?
서로.
예, 아니 어떤 거를?
그
살아있지 않는 것들. 그 우리가 이름 뭐랄까요?
무생물.
무생물이라고 해도 되겠죠? 이런 무생물들을 의지합니다. 어떤 것들? like는 뭐뭐와 같은이란 말이에요. 뭐와 같은? 이게 좋아하다 아니에요?
공기와 토양.
예, 물과 공기와
토양.
태양과 같은 것들을 무생물이라고 하는데 의지합니다. 오케이?
네.
Vicky.
네.
Blank can't survive without water and air. You complete this sentence. Probably, yeah. Fish. What else?
버류?
You said just fish and humans.
아.
And what else?
Shark. Animal.
They.
All right. What animals I'm talking? What animals are you talking about? What animals? You have learned 3 different kinds of animals. What are they?
포식자.
Predator, prey, decomposer.
Decomposers. You don't study well enough to be part of this discussion. Okay?
Sorry.
Don't be sorry, be smart, okay? You too. Everybody needs to review. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably David teacher is going to be a little mad at this, that you don't study enough. So I need you to be smarter. Okay?
Yeah.
How can you be smarter? Review. So you can answer the questions in class. Like I said, there are 3 kinds of animals, but you don't know what I'm talking about. But down, he gave me a little bit of clues. Decomposers, predators, and preys that are good answers. But, Vicky, there are 3 kinds of animal. What are they?
뭐라고요?
See? I gave you English question. You said 뭐라고요? I don't like that.
Predator.
No. Go back to your previous unit. Unit 18. Unit 18. What do you see there?
Predator, prey.
No. See the title of Unit 18.
Herbivores, carnivores, omnivores.
You know why you don't answer the questions very well? Because you didn't memorize the lines for the play, Younggu. If you had memorized them, you could have answered those questions easily because that's your part. Okay? You're not just coming here to have fun. You're coming here to learn. You can have fun, but you need to learn first. Having fun is second important thing. What is the most important thing? Learning has to be done properly. Do you understand? If you answer the questions properly, like because you did review, then this class is going to be a lot better. Okay? Don't make like silly answers like I gave you English question, you answered them in Korean. What kind of class is this? Don't you know that I am a part of 국제학교? Those 국제학교 students, they never answered question in Korean. They're very little tiny. They're 6 years old, 7 years old, and they're just, sometimes they're 8 and 9. They try to answer those questions. Every question I give them, they answer them in English. You understand? So you're older, much older than them. They're super tiny, they're 5 years old, 6 years old. And they never talk to me in Korean. What about you guys? What are you doing? Don't do that, okay? Is this a Korean class? Is this? And those children, kindergarten kids too, they don't think I'm a Korean because I never talk to them in Korean. But there's no problem for us to communicate in English. They talk to me in English, I talk to them in English, there's no problem. Because sometimes they cry, I miss my mom. And I tell them everything in English. But they understand. They try to understand. Okay? I want this class to be like that. Maybe better than that. And every student, every child there, they want to have a class with me. Do you understand now? Those 국제학교 students want to have the class with David teacher. But they can't. Why? But I'm super busy. Do you understand? I'm not just the teachers you can meet out there in the 공부방 or just cram school, 학원. I'm not that a teacher. Do you understand? You just don't treat me like a teacher like that. I'm sorry to say this. I have more experience. I have better experiences. I have better abilities. You understand? So having fun is good. Having fun is very important. You can have fun. Like 2 weeks later, not this week, next week, we're going to have a water day. Water day, you're going to fight with the balloons, water balloons, and we're going to have fun next week. But having fun is not the most important thing here, okay? Learning has to be done. Say, brother, learning
Learning
has to be done.
has to be done.
You have to memorize the lines for the play, 연극. And you have to memorize those lines for the 통문장. Understand? Do you know when I'm so happy? When I see you grow physically and mentally and educationally grow. Boo, 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 boo. Okay? I'm sorry to say this, but review and memorize the words. Okay? Don't just write. When you write things, you try to observe them. Okay? Put that in your brain. Especially you. Okay? Right, here we go, everybody. So together,
Together,
all living thing,
all living things,
all the living
all the living
and non-living things
and non-living
in
things
an area
in all area
form
for
an ecosystem.
an ecosystem.
Good. What is that area?
지역,
Yes, 영역,
영역,
지역. And the word form means 구성
구성,
or 형성 하다. Okay? On ecosystem. Okay, so draw this graphic. Like, can you draw this illustration? This is ecosystem. And here what? Living
living thing,
or non
or
living. Okay. Okay? They coexist. Anybody can guess coexist. What does it mean? Coexist. 그려보세요. 공존하다란 말이에요. 자, 이게 무슨 말인지 알겠죠? 그래서 모든 살아있는 그리고 살아있지 않는 것들이 한 지역에서 뭐를 형성해요?
생태계,
생태계를 형성합니다. Alright, here we go. The Earth
the earth
has
has
many different ecosystems.
many different ecosystems.
Good. 그래서 지구는 많은 다른 생태계를 가지고 있죠. 그래서 우리가 처음 우리 때 단어 뜻을 얘기한 생태계라고 그래요. 지구에는 많은 다른 생태계 하나만 있는 게 아닙니다. There are desert,
Desert,
forest,
forest,
grassland,
grassland,
lake,
lake,
and ocean ecosystem.
ocean ecosystem,
그러니까 사막 ecosystem, forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, lake ecosystem, ocean ecosystem이죠. 여러분 grassland 뭐야?
잔디밭,
예,
초원,
초원. 이걸 우리 다른 말로 하면 prairie. 저것도 prairie.
prairie.
예, 우리 prairie dog이라고 들어봤어요?
네.
예, 그게 단어 prairie 초원이에요. 걔는 아닙니다. 약간 뭐죠 그거? ecosysteem. 그러니까 사막 ecosystems 있고 숲, 초원, 호수, 바다까지 다 있죠. Different kinds of ecosystems are made up of different kinds of plants and animals. 자, 이게 아까 말했던 뭐예요?
구성하다.
어디 말하세요?
뭐뭐로 구성.
맞아. 뭐뭐 어떤 것으로 구성되다. 이거 꼭 중요한 표현이기 때문에 여러분 이렇게 합시다. Are made up of. 그렇죠? 뭐를 구성되어 있어요? Are made of 다른 종류의 식물과 동물들로 구성이 되죠. 아까 동물이라 했을 때 여러분 이거 선생님 질문 이겁니다. Herbivores 뭐야? 초식 동물. 그다음에
carnivores,
carnivores 마지막이
omnivores.
그렇죠. 잡식이 omnivores죠. 그래서 선생님이 이렇게 대답했으면 했었어. Okay. So many trees and animals. Say everybody. Many trees and animals
Many trees and
can be found.
can be found.
Can be found.
Can be found.
Two more time. Can be found.
Can be found.
Okay. What does that mean? Can be found. 발견될 수 있다. 발견될 수 있다. 발견하다가 아니고 어떻게 해요? 왜 발견하다가 아니라 발견되어진다고 말해야 되나요?
비가 붙어서.
여러분 나무나 동물들은 뭔가를 발견하는 녀석들이 아니죠. 걔네들은 인간에 의해서
발견되는
그렇죠. 이거는 인간에 의해서 발견된 거죠.
수동태.
수동태 맞아요. 인간이 하는 행동이기 때문에 그래요. 뭔가를 발견하는 것은 인간이 하는 행동이니까요.
비동사 플러스 과분.
맞아요. can은 이제 여러분 할 수 있다는 뜻이기 때문에 발견될 수 있다라는 거. 어디서 발견될 수 있어? 숲에서.
숲에서.
A lake is filled with. 이거 배웠죠? Be filled with는 뭐뭐로 가득 차다.
가득 차다.
네 맞아요. A lake는 뭐로 가득 차 있죠? 호수는
호수는
fish, frogs, and insects.
오구리.
곤충.
예, 물고기와 개구리와 곤충로 가득 차 있죠. 오케이. 이거 질문한다. 두둥탁. What are toads?
에?
toad가 뭘까요?
두꺼비.
딩동댕.
나이스.
두꺼비였어.
근데 저 오리를
오구리.
오구리라고 해버렸어요.
Sir, the
디.
organism
오르게니즘.
in these ecosystems
디.
compete
컴피.
against each other.
Against each other.
Yes, what is a compete?
compete. 공평한?
No, oh, actually, we need to compete fairly. All right. Like this is a Eden, and this is a
공정한.
down.
내가 조금 더
They compete for cake. So you want to get this cake, and he wants to get this cake. So they run to the cake. What is this?
경쟁?
That's right.
아.
So everybody compete.
compete.
경쟁하다는 뜻이에요.
아하.
그래서 against는요.
최상급.
상대로. 해봐. against.
against.
뭔가를 상대로.
최상급.
뭐를 상대로? 여러분 이게 against예요. 여기 벽이 있어요.
벽.
이 벽에 비키가 지금 나오고 있어요.
미국 있어요?
기대고 있어요.
예, 기대고 있는 거죠. 이게 against.
엘리베이터 문이면 바로 뒤로 넘어질 거.
이게 어떤 거야? against의 의미를 담고 있는 거야. 알겠죠? 상대로. 뭔가 이렇게 기대 가지고 있는 상태.
그게
상대로. 자, compete against each other 뭐죠? 서로의 서로. 서로를 어떻게? 경쟁해야 되겠죠? 왜?
살아남기 위해.
살아남기 위해서. To survive. 살아남기 위해 이 에코시스템에는 이런 organisms, 이런
유기체.
유기체나 유기물들은 살아남기 위해 경쟁을 해야 합니다. 맞나요?
네.
So you guys compete in class.
I am one.
You're number one, probably, yes. In your school class, right? You compete. Desert plants. 그러면 사막에 있는 식물들은요. Compete for water. 뭐를 위해 경쟁하죠?
물을.
물이 부족하기 때문에 물이 많아서. 물이 부족하기 때문에 they compete for what? Water. Okay?
water.
So predators.
predator.
그러면 이게 뭐죠? 포식자들은 compete 경쟁해요.
경쟁해.
뭐를 위해?
prey.
prey.
먹잇감.
그렇죠. 먹잇감을 경쟁하는 거죠. 한 놈이 잡아먹으려면 자기는 먹을 기회를 놓치니까. 그렇죠? 그러면 prey animal 얘네들 어때요? prey animals such as rabbit and squirrels. squirrels 다 다람쥐들. 이 다람쥐들은 어떻게 compete 또 경쟁해 뭐 하려고? collect 뭐야? 모으다. 뭘 모아요?
음식을
예, 먹잇감을 뭘? 예, 그렇죠. nuts, probably nuts, mostly or fruits. 그런 음식을 모으기 위해서 먹이를 모으기 위해서 또 경쟁을 하죠. 결국은 여러분 생태계는 뭐예요? compete. 인간들은 뭐 하려고?
경쟁.
네, 이게 참 안 좋아요. 영어를 이렇게 열심히 배우는 것도 사실 어때요? 어떤 면에서는 compete하기 위한 거죠. compete해서 어떻게 더 나은
대학을 간다.
자리를 잡기 위해서 그런 거죠. Okay, alright. Ecosystems are constantly. 이거 했죠? 끊임없이 맞아요. 이런 이코시스템은요 사실 끊임없이 어때요? 지금도 변화하고 바뀌고 있죠. 그대로 있지 않습니다. 끊임없이 ecosystems are constantly changing. Like through the year, 1년을 통해서도 어때요? There are 4 seasons. Alright? Remember the moderate?
moderate.
Don't you remember The-
moderate.
the weather conditions, climate regions, polar region, tropical regions,
temperature.
temperate region. Okay, so temperate climate actually moderate, not too cold, not too warm. All right. Yes. So plants and animals must
must
Oh, this is adapt to. Underline. Very, 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 very highly important. Adapt to.
어댑트.
Every animal has to adapt to, every plant has to adapt to these changes for the environment. When you guys go to a new school, you must adapt to the new school.
적응하다.
That's right. 그래 여기다가 예를 적어봤어요. 선생님, 여러분 이해 딱 했지?
네.
저 everyone needs to adapt to a new school. 이렇게 하면 여러분 어떻게? adapt라는 단어가 빨리 알아들을 수 있지.
네.
그래서 우리 이걸 뭐라고 하냐면 맥락 통해서 단어를 배우는. 그러니까 뭐 하는 거야? adapt라는 단어를 적응하다 이렇게 외우지 않고 어떻게 하는 거야? 저 문장을 이해하는 거죠, 우리가. 그 모든 사람은 새 학교 가면 어떻게 해?
학교 좋아요.
그러니까 영어로 쓰려면 그냥 adapt 해야 돼. 이렇게 하면 좀 이해하기 편하고 암기도 좀 잘 되겠죠. 오케이? So these change 이러한 이 끊임없는 이코시스템의 변화에 적응을 해야 됩니다. 역시 organisms that adapt 그럼 어떻게 해요? 여기까지가 관계대명사 기억하죠?
네.
어떻게 합니까? 적응하는 유기체들은 will survive. 어떻게 해요? 네, 살아남을 수 있을 것이다. 생존하는 거죠. 하지만 적응 못하면요? 그럼 영어로 바꿔봐. 받아쓰기 해볼까? Organisms that don't adapt will not survive. Organisms that do not adapt will not survive. Organisms that do not adapt will not survive. Organisms that don't or do not adapt will not survive. 그래서 미국 여러분 원어민들 얘를 합치기죠. Organisms that don't adapt won't survive. Won't survive. Okay? Organisms that do not 완전히 선생님 솔직히 거짓말 안 하고 못 봤어요 이거는.
그럴 때 있어요.
똑같네, 그렇죠? 그럼 뭐 하는 거야? 적응하지 못한 organism들은 살아남지 못한다. Okay, here we go. 한번 읽어보도록 할게요. On three, all together. 1, 2, 3. We live in an environment. An environment is all living and non-living things that surround us. Plants, animals depend on one another in an environment. They depend on non-living things too, like water, air, and soil. Together, all the living and non-living things in an area form an ecosystem. The Earth has many different ecosystems. There are desert, forest, grassland, lake, and oceans ecosystems. Different kinds of ecosystems are made of different kinds of plants and animals. Many trees and animals can be found in a forest. A lake is filled with fish, frogs, and insects. The organisms in these ecosystems compete against one another, each other to survive. Desert plants compete for water. Predators compete for prey. Prey animals such as rabbits and squirrels compete to collect food. Ecosystems are constantly changing, so the plants and animals must adapt to these changes too. Organisms that adapt will survive. Organisms that do not adapt will not survive.